one.
Piling paper got them talking nice to me. Down the bottle, it be going right through me. Brown baby down to take a flight to me. They think that I'm stunting, but it's slight to me. Piling paper got them talking nice.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to Club Collab. I'm Max Jimenez, and I have my co-host here, Ryan Overcash. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I want to remind you this is a live show, and today we have an explosive one. Ryan, who do we have on the show today, man? You want to let the people know who we have on?
Yes. Thanks, Max. We have the one and only Mr. Ben Newman on the show today. This is going to be a treat for everyone, and appreciate all of you who are here for this. It's going to be fire. Hope you have your questions ready.
Awesome. Yeah, before we bring him on, we're not going to make this introduction long because we're going to respect Ben's time and we want to make sure he delivers, and like he always does. I saw a post today, and this post, I don't typically respond to a lot of posts, but I saw this and I told you this on the live, Ryan. It said, how important is mindset, right? Like the question was asked. And I don't ever really respond to mindset, right? To post, excuse me. Like I don't, you know me, right? I always try to keep it myself. And I stopped and let me respond to that. I said, it's everything, right? Mindset is everything. However, social media and, obviously has watered it down to some point. And so what a better way to segue to the next, with our guest, because he's a performance coach, right? Tweaks and, gets people to perform to a high level. And I love that he's going to talk about this today. And I know, Ryan, he's been helping you a lot as well, too. One thing I want to say before we bring him on is make sure you share this with someone right now. Share this live with someone. Make sure that you are bringing on your questions, because I'm telling you, it's going to be incredible what we have and what Ben's going to bring to you today. Who knows? This might be the thing that sparks your second quarter. I love what you said today, Ryan, about everybody gets hyped for first quarter. Everybody gets hyped for fourth quarter. But a lot of people don't get hyped for the start of the second quarter, right? And I hope Ben talks about that today, because I think it's important, and I'm looking forward to that. But without further ado, let's bring Mr. Ben Newman on. Let's go.
What's happening, guys?
What's going on, Ben?
Man,
what's going on, Ben? How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. It is a great day. I'm going to tell you just real quick. It is 7 p.m. St. Louis time. I do not do this at 7 p.m. St. Louis time, ever. I couldn't tell you the last time I accepted an interview at 7 p.m. at night. So that tells you that I care about this guy, Ryan Overcash, and I appreciate what you guys are putting out into the world and the positivity, and excited to be with you and all your listeners. But I don't do this, so let's lock in, and we better be ready to roll.
Yeah, let's do it. And I just want to say thank you, and we really appreciate that, by the way, because I know your time is valuable, and very honored to have you on. So, Ryan, I'll take it over, brother. What you got?
Awesome. Thank you. Likewise, Ben. Again, thank you. I know this is a special time for you. So one of the things that attracted me to you in the beginning, which again, a lot of things here, but one of the things is your program and your plan and how you go about things was a little bit different. Everyone talks about purpose statement, right? Or having a vision, but you talked about this one thing, Ben. You talked about the burn, and I wanted you to talk a little bit to our audience about what that is to you. Why is that important? What's the difference of the burn versus somebody's vision and purpose?
Well, I love the question, Ryan. I think it's so important. I'm glad that we're starting here because, so oftentimes, you guys, you go on Instagram Live and you've been promoting this and y'all have been trying to hype me up. But the reality is I get knocked down all the time. Whatever these guys told you about me, I still have 2 coaches. I'm still reading books every day. I'm trying to find out what my very best looks like. So we're in this fight together. And what I found over time, and Max, you really mentioned this, right? You mentioned mindset is everything. I'm going to add something to that. Mindset is everything as long as you take action. If you don't take action, the mindset really doesn't matter. So it's a combination of both. But one of the key mindset pieces that I found in doing this work for 17 years, for 17 years, is that a lot of speakers and coaches, they talk about why and purpose, which is so important, but they actually forget to talk about your burn. And the burn, which is also the name of our podcast, the burn is the underlying fire that actually ignites your why and your purpose, that then causes you to be disciplined in your daily action. And without that burn, I don't think people really push, especially on the days that they don't want to do it. And also after they win, we have a tendency to get seduced by success. So that burn is so important. Sometimes it comes in the form of challenge and adversity. You want to honor somebody every day, the manner in which you live your life, or maybe you're sacrificing for somebody, or somebody sacrificed for you, and you don't want to waste that sacrifice. The burn comes in many forms. I know we'll go deeper into it, but that's the essence of it. You have to understand that burn in order to ignite that why and purpose, to understand what that highest level of performance looks like.
I love that, Ben. I'm glad that you corrected me on that, because I'm a big
No. I didn't correct you. I added to it, because you're right. Mindset is everything as long as you take action. You nailed it. I just added the critical piece that we can't forget.
For sure. And I appreciate that, because I'm a big Jim Rohn fan, and Jim Rohn said, sure, you can say affirmations and, you can yell them out till your face is blue. But if you don't take action, they might end up taking you to the loony bin or whatever he said. They might think you're crazy, right? I can't remember the words exactly used, which is the action, right? The action behind that. I love that.
And so let me just share this, because this is really how I approach every single day. And I think this is important to grab the essence of this when you think about the burn. My mother passed away 11 days before my 8th birthday.
Wow.
My parents were divorced when I was 6 months old. I never knew my parents together. My mother had 24-hour nursing care in our home her last year living. She would come to the dinner table every single night without fail to ask me and my brother how our days were at school.
Wow.
My mother taught me the greatest life lesson I've ever learned. It's not how long you live, it's how you choose to live your life. The reality was, as a 7-year-old boy, 24-hour nursing care, mom coming to that dinner table, and she was dying before my eyes.
Wow.
And even though my mother passed far too soon, my mother taught me what it means to fight and to have passion and to have conviction and to own every single day. My mother passed away at 38 years old. I'm a 44-year-old man. So when I approach every day, there's this burn inside of me that I will not waste a day.
Yeah.
If I'm 44, I've been given 6 extra years, one day at a time, that my mother never had. It doesn't mean that I don't make mistakes. I screw up as a father. I screw up as a husband. You're going to get my best. I screw up as a coach. I screw up. There's all kinds of mistakes that we make. It's not about being perfect, but it's recognizing we're only given this day. Just show up and be your best. Stop wasting days. And so for me, that's my burn. And I know this because I've done this enough times. I've spoken in 9 different countries, and I told you I've been doing this for 17 years, thousands of talks. I'm not the only one tonight that has a story. Max has a story. Overcash has a story. Every single one of you have a story. And there's a fire and passion that lies inside that story. And all I'm saying is connect to that. And I promise you, you will show up differently in your life, and you will stop wasting days. And then that is what ignites that why and purpose. And that is what is going to cause you to be more disciplined in your daily action to drive that success. So you don't become, Jim Rohn said it one way. Here's the way that I say it. Everybody tells you how great they want to be. But when we have a conversation with your action, we find out how bad you really want it. So stop being that person who's talking about it. Start taking action and start making a bigger difference in the world.
Whew. Fire, man.
Told you, no coddling here, right? That's what with Ben, he's going to give it to you straight. I love the intensity. Always gets me pumped up as well, Ben. So again,
I hope you guys understand. And for people, I'm not for everybody, right? So you probably have some listeners like, my God, this guy is just like. But the reality is, when you see this vein pop out of my neck, it's called passion. It's not. I'm not yelling at anybody. I'm encouraging all of you to connect to your burn, connect to your fire, and show up and be your best. Because even though I've had the opportunity to work with Super Bowl champions, NCAA champions, mental conditioning coach at Alabama for the greatest football coach of all time for 5 years and 2 national championships, I know what the highest level of performance looks like. I know what it looks like. But the reality is that's not how I measure winning in championships. I measure winning in your ability to look yourself in the mirror one day at a time and say, today I gave it my very best. And if you can do that, nobody can ever take that away from you. And you can never ask any more of yourself than your very best. That's winning. And when you show up that way with great consistency, the byproduct is winning at very high levels.
Yeah, I love that advice. By the way, one thing is I love how you tied in the story of how your mom showed up, even though going through what she was going through, and maybe didn't even portray that she was suffering at that time. But you at 7 years old, that's amazing that you were able to see that and then take that and made that your burn. And now the passion is if she showed up like that to the dinner table, not showing the suffering and being there and genuinely caring how your day was based on what she was going through. That's really amazing, brother. Nothing but respect for you. That's amazing to grasp that and actually run with that.
Well, my mom's the one who was amazing. She actually had a journal when she was told that she had 2 to 4 years to live, right? And she was only the second woman under 40 years old they'd ever seen or heard of having a disease called amyloidosis. She took out a journal, an old blue Mead notebook, maybe like you guys used to have in school, and yours was another color. And she wrote, beat the statistics, beat the odds, live with a disease that is chronic and fatal, believe in yourself, combat anything, purpose in life. So all my mother did was she taught me about that mindset, but she also taught me you better show up, especially when you don't feel like it. And that's why I talk about standard over feelings. Yes, I was a 7-year-old boy, and my mother never told me this, but I promise you, when you're laying in a hospital bed in your home and it takes 2 nurses to get you to the dining room table, there were plenty of nights she didn't want to get there, but she did because she wanted to be the example for my brother and I that you fight through anything in life.
Nice. That's awesome. Hey, Ryan, before you ask the second question, I know there's a lot of people out there, because even myself, I got to find, because I know what that burn is for me. But Ben, if there's people out there, because you talked about look for your why, look for your purpose, but I love how that burn takes it to another level. How does somebody actually look to see what their burn is? Do you have some advice on that, or do they just got to have it? What is it that you talk to? If someone that says, Ben, I don't know what my burn is, I know it's there, I just don't know what it is. Is there some advice you can give to someone if they're in that position?
I was sitting in the office with a college football coach last week at a major program in the country. Some of you are probably fans of this program. And I'm sitting in his office last week, and he says, my burn is my family. And then he started saying some things, and we started going into a conversation. I said, I don't know. I said, are you sure that your why isn't your family and your burn is maybe something different? Because he was but he's like, is it my burn? And I said, well, tell me more. And just, I know we're tight on time tonight, so
Yeah.
I won't go into all the specifics.
No, this is important.
But essentially he said, all of these things about his family. I said, your family's your why.
Yeah.
I said, what's the burn? I said, where does your work ethic come from? I said, why do you work these 14, 15-hour days and you recruit and it's constant and it's attacking? He said, man, he goes, I look at how I grew up. I look at my grandpa. I look at his work ethic. He taught me to work. He taught me to get your hands dirty. He taught me that you do whatever it takes. I said, brother, that's your burn. I said, your burn is that you recognize that these 14, 15-hour days, in my opinion, having done this a long time, is the burn is you want to be an example for your kids like your grandpa was for you of what hard work looks like. Fellas, his eyes lit up and he said, now I get it. So now he understands that burn is I have to be the example for those little eyes that are watching me. And when I do that, I take care of my why, which is my family. And this is the piece where a lot of coaches, they've missed this for years. And I'm not saying I figured it all out, but there's a lot of coaches that miss it. And that's the reason why we've been able to do the work that we've done with some of the fastest growing organizations in the world, Fortune 10 companies, and all of these sports teams. Because if you don't start with the burn, I don't think you'll ever reach that highest level of peak performance.
Wow. Amazing. Go ahead.
No, I love that. No, I love that, Max. You actually led into a great question, because that was my biggest challenge before, Ben, I came across you. It was, I couldn't figure it out. And even when I, first heard about you, I had to listen to your program a little bit, and I started understanding how, from your program, how to create or how to figure it out. What questions was I not asking myself over time? And it even came from doing the 30-day journal challenge that you had. So by doing that, I was able, and listening to you, I was able to finally figure out what the heck was driving me. Cause I was like that guy, it's this, it's that. And I just wasn't 100% sure. So I know there's a lot of people that ask that same question. Hey, if I didn't have, something traumatic to go through, how do you figure this out? How do you, how do I find out what my burn is? So I think that was
Well,
really good.
there's a couple of things I want to unpack here, if we can, Ryan. And if I could give just a small piece of homework for you to help me reach your audience on a deeper level. And I'm fine for you to do this because I care about you and your growth and the impact you're having across the world. If you could grab that email where I sent that 30-day challenge with the videos and send it to everybody watching. Let's not just let today be this little emotional experience. Let this be maybe a day where you start to think differently when you show up. So let's get that out to everybody. I'll even do this. I'll throw in freeplaybook.net. So that's our mental toughness playbook. So it's literally, there's been over 1 million downloads. I told you guys, I'm not one of those people who just started doing this work last week. I've been doing this for 17 years. Yeah. And these are the 6 proven mental training tools that we use with athletes and business professionals. So freeplaybook.net, everybody can get a free ebook version of that book. I want to make a difference in your life. I don't, if I'm going to spend this time at 7 o'clock at night, we're going to make a difference. It's not just some stories and emotion. And the last thing I would tell you, Overcash and I really connected, on social media for years. But when he joined our program, Uncommon Live, that was a game changer for him. Because it was no more talk. It was time for him to take action. And I hope you don't mind me sharing this, Ryan, but that was a big difference. And registration for that program is actually closed. But if anybody hits a DM to Ryan or to me directly at Continued Fight, we can take a look at a potential opportunity if it's a good fit for you to also join Uncommon Live to make a difference. I'm not taking on additional one-on-one clients right now. So that's really the only way that I'm working with additional individuals right now. And that's actually closed, as I mentioned. So if you're interested, just get with Ryan or get with me, and we'll see if there's anything more we can do to help you. But at least it's a start. If you're not ready to take any additional action, I want to give you resources that'll change your life, because that's what I'm all about.
Jeez, that's awesome. Appreciate that, Ben.
Make sure everyone takes action. DM Ryan or DM Ben directly. And thank you, Ben, for that. I appreciate that. Because you're right. A lot of times, a lot of these podcasts are storytelling, feel good. But if we don't take that next step of how to make that happen, it's like, then what's the use, right? Like, what are we doing here?
Motivation is fleeting. Motivation only lasts so long. I can share the perspective of the burn, but if I don't give you the tool of this 30-day challenge, I could hop on here in 30 days and you're right in the same place where you were. Right? If I don't share these tools with you that have impacted Ryan's life, a prize fighter day and the power to reframe, and proven tools that work. There's Hall of Famers that use these tools. There's people you're watching on Sundays that use these tools. I didn't just make this up last week. We got over 1 million downloads of this book. So I think it's important to recognize, I want to share some things tonight, but back to it. Mindset is everything, but only if you take action.
Yeah, there you go, guys. Take action. Again, word of the night, term of the night. Ben's out here dropping fire, dropping gems, handing out stuff. Again, on his dollar, on his dime there for free for everyone. So please take advantage. Reach out to me. Reach out to Ben. We'll get you connected with all the stuff. So really, again, truly appreciate that. I know we got a few more minutes here, Ben. One of the things I've always wanted to ask you, or not really ask you, I know of this of you, just like you, to talk about it. I'm really big of having a morning routine. You helped me really put my morning routine on steroids, and you even got me to get up earlier than I was. Still not quite where you're at, but first, if you can tell everyone what time you get up, just so they know. And then again, what's the importance of a morning routine? I get this question all the time. Well, what if I do it in the middle of the day or at night, Ryan? Why is it so important in the morning? So I would just like to hear your perspective of why you think a morning routine is important.
First off, I get up way too early, and I would never make it as a recommendation to anybody, but there's a reason for it. One of the reasons for it is that I realized over time that the next level of your success is a math problem. So years ago, I would be rushed in the morning. I didn't have enough time. I wasn't focused. I wasn't present. I wasn't training the way that I do in the morning. I wasn't eating the way that I do. We didn't have children yet, right? So you're racing and you're behind and you're not mentally prepared. I got sick and tired of it. And finally, I realized for every 30-minute window that I take back, it's an extra 10 days a year. That's the amount of vacation time I had my first job out of college. Because 30 minutes times 5 days in a week is 2.5 hours, times 4 weeks in a month, right? Is an extra, so you got an extra 10 hours, that's an extra day. And then all of a sudden, that's 12 days in a year. That's more vacation time than I had. And so it just became a math problem. So then I said, okay, I'm going to run it back 30 minutes, run it back 30 minutes, run it back 30 minutes, run it back 30 minutes. And as much as I travel to speak and to be on the sideline or in locker rooms or in boardrooms, as much travel as I have, I wanted to be present and focused with my kids. When they wake up, I want to help them make breakfast. I want to take them to school. And Ryan, that's where I want to tell you where I'm most proud of you. I hear far too often, you probably didn't expect me to say this, and I want to mention something because you were courageous in doing it. But the reason behind it is why we made a change in Uncommon Live, because we actually listened to our group, okay? So one thing is, I encourage people that you actually can have balance in life.
Yeah.
Right? It's such bullshit when you listen to these people, these coaches who, don't have balance, work really hard and take time off and work really hard and then go on a vacation with your family. These coaches need to stop because they're undisciplined in their life, trying to tell other people that it's okay to be undisciplined. I'm an example of this, and so is Ryan. One of the things that happened, we were having our Uncommon Live coaching calls always in the morning. And Ryan leaves me this message, and he's like, with one of the other coaches with our programs, we have consistent contact and coaching throughout the whole month. And he was like, hey guys, I want you to understand, you guys have these calls, man. I'm on the West Coast. This is 6:30 in the morning. I'm getting my kids ready and taking them to school. Are you willing to make an adjustment? And Ryan, we made that adjustment because of you. Now, some calls we still need to cater to some of those people, and that's why we have recordings so nobody can miss a call. But the reality was, some of the videos, he's filming the damn thing for me, and he's in the car with his kids. Well, I'm going to listen because he believes what I believe, which is, no, there's nothing more important than you being present and focused with your kids, which means he's now grabbed a hold of his morning, doing things that he needs to do to be prepared, but also making time to love on his kids. So his kids remember 10 years from now, Daddy used to take me to school. You ain't getting that time back. No. I don't want anybody to have regrets. And so, Ryan, that was so meaningful for me. And we made that change because of you and because of those videos of you with your kids, because nothing is more important. Yeah. And so I just want to let you know that I appreciate you're not just saying, oh, I got Ben on here and he helped me with my morning routine. No, you actually did it. So thank you.
Yeah, I want to highlight 2 points here.
I want to hear what he's got to say because I'm
go ahead.
Kudos. Hold on, Max.
Go ahead. he's smirking over there.
No, I'm blown away because again, that means a lot. It means a lot to me that you're able to to make that change because of me, and the fact that you listen to it, and the fact that you see what I'm doing with my daughter. That says a lot about you, Ben, as my coach. You actually pay attention to me. And I've said this to you before already, and but to everyone else on here, you talk to me. You talk to not just me, to everyone. It's not just, hey, pay me money and you'll see me once or twice on the internet, and maybe I'll send you a text. You text me every morning. I get a message from you every morning. I look forward to that message, and I even forward that on to a couple other people in my life, so they look forward to that message. You're always responding to me on IG, and again, look at you just said it in front of everyone. You made a change to the schedule of what you do on behalf of me, spending time with my family. So that, again, 100% just gracious gratitude and just blessed. And thank you for everything, man. And it's continuing to go.
I appreciate you taking the action, brother.
Yeah, action is huge. I love that. And by the way, Ryan has helped me out tremendously, Ben, as well, too, with my morning routine and sending me, calling me, leaving me a voicemail in the morning, 3 a.m. But I want to highlight 2 things you said there, because a lot of people always ask, or make this statement, I don't have time, right? I don't have time. And one of the things you said, I love what you said, because I've been a believer in that system where, okay, so if you get up at, say, 6, just rewind it back 15, 30 minutes. You buy yourself 2.5 to, if you rewind it back 30 minutes, you buy yourself 2.5 hours for the week. A lot of people don't know how to grasp that. And so I love that you said that, because that's kind of how I got back to waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning, right? Is I was waking up around 5:30 to 6, and I started rewinding it back 15, 30-minute increments. Didn't have to do it the whole thing.
So you mentioned something that's critical in this playbook, which you guys are going to get, right? I'm not selling it to you. You're going to get it for free.
Awesome.
When I talk about your prize fighter day morning, one of the things that I talk about is just because you hear Ryan wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning, don't start that tomorrow. It's not going to work. You got to take the advice that Matt said and you run it back 15 minutes at a time. Do that for a week. Do that for 2 weeks. Allow your body and your mind to acclimate to waking up earlier. Run it back again. Run it back again. That's the way that I did it. And so over time, you start to take your time back. We have to be very careful with our self-talk. Your self-talk is often what holds you back. So if you tell yourself, I don't have time, those words come out of your mouth, they go into your ears, and that's what dictates the action that you take. So rather than saying you don't have time, you may say, you know what? I've lost control of my time. There's an opportunity for me to change things, starting with waking up 15 minutes earlier, and then I'm going to add some new disciplines which are going to change my thinking, change my action, and change my life. Stop living to the self-talk and the excuses. Grab a hold of your time again. Change your self-talk. That changes your life.
Nice. That's huge.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's, I know we're out of time here, so we got to wrap up, but just again, want to say thank you and just point out, right, the last thing here, just point out real quick, what that brought up is awareness, right, Ben? And would you say being aware of your self-talk, what you're putting in your ears, what you're listening to, obviously, again, like I was saying earlier, what you're saying to yourself, being aware of that is obviously important.
If you don't have awareness to it, you're not going to change anything. At some point in time, if you believe what I believe, which is winning is your ability to look in that mirror one day at a time at the end of the day, then you got to be honest with yourself. And I'm not here to call you out. I didn't say to anybody, hey, raise your hands and I need you to go on your story and say that you've been falling short. And you haven't. None of you need to be called out. You know what you need to do. So it's one of those things, I've said it for years, standard over feelings. Don't allow your feelings to dictate how you show up. Identify the standards that'll cause you to win and focus on living to those standards, attacking those standards every day, and changing your mindset to win one day at a time.
Awesome. Boom. I love that advice.
Cool. Well, again, Ben, I know we're running out of time now. Just for everyone on here who's listening or going to hear the replay, how can they get in touch with you, Ben? Or what do you have coming out? Anything new to be on the lookout for?
Man, this is a crazy year. So I'll tell you a couple of things to look out for. Another thing that's free. I keep giving all this stuff away for free to highlight for you. The Power of Positive Summit for my mentor, John Gordon, is April 19th through the 23rd. It's 30 of the top speakers in the world. I think the website is thepositivesummit.com. You sign up for free. I'll be a speaker at the event. You've got Ed Milet. I mean, you name it. It's 30 of the top speakers in the world. It's one of the coolest things that John does. People need it now more than ever, especially with what Ryan highlighted that we talked about earlier today, which is everybody talks about the first quarter. Everybody talks about finishing the year strong. But this second quarter is critical for so many reasons. That Power of Positive Summit will help you with that. We have our Mental Toughness Forum, which is in August. Similar type format. It's free. 30 of the top speakers in the world will be part of that. Be on the lookout for that. And then a couple of things I'm really excited about. My 8th book comes out called The Standard on August the 1st. And then we actually have a boot camp in Las Vegas with Tim Grover, Justin Gatlin, Ed Milet, Dr. Gabrielle Lyon. It'll be one of the biggest events of the entire year. Ryan's going to actually be there.
That's awesome.
I cannot wait for that. And that's going to be in October.
Whew. That's a good lineup right there. Yeah. Wow.
We're looking forward to having amazing people that get to interact with these speakers, have proximity to the speakers. It's not a 5,000 person event. It's a smaller, intimate type experience because we want to make a difference in people's lives, hit them holistically in every single area of their life, and give them the opportunity to build the plan that's going to cause them to make the change that shifts their life forever.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah. A lot of value there. Appreciate that as well. Just again, always giving back and always helping people get better. Again, just amazing me, Ben, how much you pour into everyone, again, including myself. And again, I can't say it enough. Thank you for being on our show and staying up late. I know it's late. It's past your bedtime.
No, I'm gonna go make dinner. My wife is with my daughter at basketball. My son and I went and got a lift in together with the trainer, and now I got to cook that boy some dinner to fill up the gaps in his muscles to make him bigger. And we're gonna have a fun night, and then I'll get some sleep.
All right, Ben. Well, thank you, Ben. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being on, and it's an honor. And man, we love it. Great stuff.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Thanks to all your listeners. I look forward to staying in touch. And Ryan, I love attacking with you, and we're just getting started.
Every day, baby. Let's go.
Thanks.
Woo, that was amazing.
Dang.
Man,
I'm sweating. I'm sweating over here.
Yeah, no, it's
Damn.
it's a different perspective, right? And I think the thought behind everything you said, it just gets you thinking a little bit, right? It's most people look at their why or they find their purpose, and then what is really your burn? Just like in the example of the coach, right? When he talked about his family, like, and I know you shared that with me. You always talk about the word burn, and I learned that from you in some way, somehow, and then trying to get a perspective around that. But a lot of stuff to talk about there. I'm going to go back and watch this over again and break this down. So anything else you want to leave for our listeners and our people that are watching this?
Yeah, just a lot of thanks right now. Again, thank you to Ben Newman, and to everyone. I mean, I'm glad he came on here, one to share his knowledge and how he looks at things from the mental toughness aspect, and then everything he gave out. Take advantage of that. Like, seriously, like, I paid for that stuff. He's handing that out for free. Download
That's
it. Awesome. Go to the website. Go to the other one too, the Positive Summit. Reach out to me if you have any questions about, if you can't get in touch with Ben for whatever reason. If you want that 30-day journal challenge email, and again, that really got Veronica, the ebook. Did you get that? That site, Max?
I did, and she can just DM you, right?
Yep. Just Veronica, just DM me directly, and I will get that. I'll get that site to you. I didn't write it down. I was too concentrating what I had to say. But yeah, so all that stuff, Max. I was just excited about what he shared, and he gave more. Yeah. He gave more than I expected. Like, I couldn't believe what he
for sure, today. Man. I love. He has a what is it called? A deep desire to help you personally, bro. I see that a lot, which is great. That's very rare nowadays. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love seeing that genuine, especially as somebody at that high level and what he does. I mean, he impacts people all around the world, and we're talking like, and just to have that one-on-one and for him and for me to see him like really, really, really like even change the morning meeting, right? Like, that was incredible too as well. That speaks a lot about his core values.
Yeah, that was a good point. Very good point.
And so, all right, everyone. Well, this has been a good segment. Go back and watch it. We're going to break this down. We're going to run some content on this. But, man, this is amazing. We're just getting started. We're going to have special guests like this. Our goal, anyways, is to bring on special guests just besides real estate, besides I think Ryan and I have spoken about this, right, Ryan, about bringing guests that, that mindset, whatever the case may be, not just real estate. It's one thing that we're striving to do. So
how to better yourself in some way, shape, or form, even like I said, outside of real estate, doesn't matter. Just however we can help everyone get better. This is Club Collab. We collaborate. We learn from other people how to raise the level, and that's what we're going to continue to do for everyone.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe, and then also don't forget to share it with someone. They will get a lot of this. We appreciate you. Everyone have a good night. Talk to you guys all later.
Thank you, Max.